Hello, everybody. My name is Becca Dukes. I am the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health. And I am super excited when we have one of our graduates who has taken their information that they have learned, not just from the Institute, but live and additional research, and put it together in a help book that helps others find out what it is that they're missing to obtain optimal health. And today we have with us the author of the book, How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Whole, Victor Dedaj.
How you doing, Becca? Great to be here.
Thank you so much, Victor, for allowing me to really just kind of spotlight you because you have been very active in the Institute. You always have great questions. You always bring in great information that helps the other students as well. And I'm excited because you've actually written this book. So tell us, why did you write the book, How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Whole?
Well, the reason I wrote is because I see so many people struggling with their health, and a lot of those people wish they were healthier. I mean, we have a crisis. So many millions of people are suffering from chronic diseases. Like a third of the nation is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. There's a whole bunch of illnesses going on, and a lot of people don't know what to do about it. So I know if they can make certain changes, like in their diet, supplementation, and other things, they can improve their health. I think a lot of people just don't know what to do. So that's one of the reasons why I wrote the book, was to show them some of the things to do, what to eat, what to avoid. And if they can make some of those changes, they can definitely improve their health.
I absolutely agree. And knowing why those changes need to be made, I think is just as important as telling somebody what the change that they need to make.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. And so I just find and I see a lot of my friends, and it's not, and you know what? It's not just middle-aged and older people, which is traditionally the people who get sick. There are people in their 20s and their teens that are getting illnesses, teenagers getting cancer, teenagers getting diabetes. That did not exist 40 years ago, but now it's pretty common. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, more and more prevalent in sickness in younger ages, which I mean, we're supposed to be vibrant when we're young, right?
Well,
Not
absolutely.
looking at all these things that are supposed to be later in life.
Right. And nowadays, the average life expectancy for the children is actually lower than the parents, which has never happened before.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, why do you think so many are not healthy?
Um, there are a couple reasons. Number one, I think there's a mental block. So I think some people do know what to do, but their subconscious mind has these thoughts that sabotage from taking the actions they need to do, like exercising more, eating better
Mhm.
quality foods, and avoiding junk foods and so on. But I also believe there's a lot of people who don't know this information. They've been told by their doctors just eat a good diet and everything will take care of it. So now I agree, everything starts with a good diet. The problem is you cannot get all the vitamins, minerals, all the nutrients you need from a good diet. You might have been able to do that in 1900, but we've known since 1936 that the soil is nutrient deficient, and it's just gotten worse since 1936 when a Senate document documented that the soil was lacking in nutrients, lacking in minerals and vitamins. And you'd probably have to eat like 7 or 8 apples to get the nutrition from an apple in 1950. And who's going to eat 50 apples to get their daily nutrition? It's not going to happen.
Well, and with the whole farming practice and the whole genetic modification, they're making things even higher in sugar. So you get the nutrition, you eat that 7 to 8 apples. Think of how much more sugar you're adding into your diet.
No, absolutely. You get a lot more sugars, and then especially the fructose, which is really bad. Glucose is bad, but fructose is much worse because at least with glucose, it can be metabolized in a number of different organs. Fructose can only be metabolized in the liver. And if you have too much fructose, it can overwhelm your liver. If your liver is not working well, that's going to really mess up your health. So I totally agree with you on that. sugars, other processed foods, vegetable, seed oils, those are poisons. And there's so many more processed foods. Like you go to the supermarket, it's just loaded with ultra processed foods. And especially in poor neighborhoods because a lot of processed foods are cheaper and that's all they can afford. So they're eating a lot of unhealthy foods that are making them sicker and sicker. Not only is a lot of bad stuff in it, but it's also lacking nutrients. There are very few nutrients in it. There's very little fiber in these as well. So it's lacking in nutrients and there's a lot of stuff that can make you sick. It's a double whammy.
A double whammy, but they make it so convenient, Victor.
No,
Fast.
absolutely. No, absolutely. And we got to do something about it. So I think one thing we can do is educate people about this. And I think if you can at least educate them, you're going to have people like look for alternatives, look for healthier foods. So less processed, more organic, with more nutrients. So I think we can educate people. We can reduce the amount of people getting sick in this country because I think a lot of people just don't have that information.
No, they absolutely don't. But share with us, do you recommend people taking supplements for their
No,
health?
no, absolutely. It's just like I said before, no matter how good your diet is, no matter how healthy it is, you're going to be lacking some of the nutrition, going to be lacking certain vitamins and minerals. You can't get it all from a good diet no matter what. So you should definitely be supplementing. And another thing I recommend is make sure you get high quality supplements because a lot of stuff you find on Amazon is probably 8 to 20% absorbable.
Mhm.
It's not what you take, it's what you absorb. So if you're taking these supplements that are not highly absorbable, you're pretty much throwing your money away. So do your research and make sure that you have high quality supplements that are highly absorbable, because then you're going to get a much greater benefit for your body. Another thing I would also recommend is while it's also important to supplement, that doesn't give you the license to eat ultra processed and crappy food. Don't think, oh, I'm taking these great quality supplements, I can eat junk food. But you need to do both because if you supplement, but you're eating a lot of ultra processed food, you're still going to have health issues. So you need to eat good quality food and say good quality supplements.
So you're saying you can't out supplement a lousy diet?
Absolutely. You cannot. You can't out supplement a bad diet. No way.
All right. Well, again, I absolutely agree with you. So share with us what are some health myths that people believe have hurt their health?
Okay. Well, again, one of them is, as we mentioned before, is you can get everything you need from a good diet. That helps, but it's not enough. It's the start. You should definitely eat good quality foods. Some people have been told that too much salt is bad for you. That is absolutely not true. Salt is extremely important for your diet. It's required to make the stomach acid in your body, which you need to digest nutrients. So it helps with a lot of different functions. It actually helps with reproduction. They've done studies that cultures which have low salt diets they don't have as many children as possible. When they eat when they eat higher amounts of salt, they're actually able to have more children. They've done this in animal studies, so it's really important for your nutrition. And also, it's the problems in the salt really does not cause high blood pressure. The real culprit, the real villain is actually elevated insulin, which comes from sugars and seed oils. So they mistake salt for what stuff like sugars and the seed oils do. So it's not the salt that really causes the high blood pressure because they've done studies for centuries in Europe where people were not eating a lot of sugar for like 15, 16, 17, 1800s. There was no outbreaks of high blood pressure or heart disease or any of these things. And they were eating a high amount of salt. In fact, the countries which they eat the most amount of salt, like Japan and Korea, they actually have higher life expectancies than many of the countries that have low salt expectancies. So that's another big myth. Another one is that eggs are bad for you. It's totally false. Eggs are some of the most nutritious foods you can eat, and then and people have been told, well, it's got high cholesterol, it's going to hurt you. No, it's not. Number one, eating eggs does not change your cholesterol, the amount of cholesterol in your blood. It has a very minimal effect on it. And people who eat eggs actually tend to be healthier, and it gives and really helps increase your iron levels. And which relates to the next thing I'm about to say is it helps get more cholesterol for your body. Cholesterol is an extremely important nutrient. We've been told lower your cholesterol, lower your cholesterol. Cholesterol, number one, a big chunk of your brain is made up of cholesterol. And people who've been taking statins and other drugs over the last 50, 60 years, many of them have developed dementia and Alzheimer's disease. It's important for creating your sex hormones, progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. So without cholesterol, there would be no human race. It's important for your vitamin D. So it's important for so many different activities. And it's so important. Your liver makes about 80% of the cholesterol. That's how important it is to your body. So there's a lot of great health benefits to cholesterol. And it's not the cholesterol that causes the problem. It's actually the triglycerides. They're focusing on the wrong thing, but the pharmaceuticals don't have anything to lower triglycerides, but they do have stuff to lower cholesterol, so they focus on that. But cholesterol is very important. Do not have low cholesterol because it can definitely harm your health.
So you mentioned seed oils. You're talking like soybean, canola,
But
olive oil,
yeah, yeah, like
right?
canola oil, soybean oil, vegetable, all those things are really bad for you because a lot of these, especially a lot of them are very mostly new. They were like after really the beginning of the industries, a lot of them were used as cleaners and stuff like that. And they were poisons. They were very cheap. They were not used for food, but they found another way to make money by putting in foods. And they've seen that since they introduced it and the increase in use of these vegetable and seed oils has led to a whole host of chronic diseases. It's led to increases in obesity, increases in heart disease, cancer, diabetes. It does a lot of the same things the carbs do as well. And a lot of people don't, and they've been marketed as being healthy because they say, well, a vegetable oil lowers cholesterol. Yeah, but it does a whole bunch of other bad things. A lot of people do not know that in 1948, the American Heart Association got a $1.8 billion grant from Procter and Gamble, which made Crisco oil. So in 1961, the American Heart Association recommended eating vegetables. They say it's very healthy for you. A lot of people do not know that $1.8 million had a big effect on their recommendation. That $1.8 million is actually about $20 million in today's um, money. And these companies like Procter and Gamble and the people that make Mozilla, Cornell, those others, they give money to a lot of these agencies. And because of that, they get favorable recommendations. You'd be amazed at how much these government agencies or these private agencies that supposedly you're looking for a good are get funding from these big companies.
It's pretty sad, actually.
You're right, it
Really
is
sad.
sad. And people's health has been suffering as a result because you can find vegetables in just about everything, all kinds of flour. You can find it in mayonnaise. It's in pretty much most frozen foods that you have to bake in the oven. The vast, especially like chicken and other different kinds of meats, a lot of them have some sort of vegetable or soybean oil. Pretty much every non-organic bread will have some sort of vegetable, soybean oil, canola oil. And even some of the organic breads will have those, it'll just be organic canola oil, but it's still canola oil and it's still harmful for your health.
Wow. Well, share with us what are your thoughts on exercising?
Exercising, I think overall is very healthy for you. It helps lower your stress level, it make you feel better. It will help your blood pressure. It will help with your blood sugar. It will help with brain health. There's a lot of cardiovascular benefits to it. So a lot of great things to uh, to get from exercising and it'll help you sleep better. Just a couple caveats about exercising. Number one, don't exercise right before you want to go to bed because you're going to have so much energy you won't be able to fall asleep. Number two, when you are exercising, you're not just sweating out the toxins, you're also sweating out nutrients. So after a good workout, make sure you supplement because if you don't supplement, you're going to have health issues. So remember, you're sweating out nutrients as well when you exercise. So make sure to supplement when you're done.
And then you mentioned sleep. What are your thoughts on sleep?
Oh, sleep is extremely important for a number of reasons. Number one, your body needs to repair itself, and that is what happens when you sleep. So it needs to repair. You need to get a good amount of sleep. Unfortunately, we've been told that people who sleep too much, they're lazy, they don't do good work. So, and especially like in the corporate world, I used to work in the corporate world, so they reward those people who would like get in really early, stay late, but not get much sleep. But here's what they discovered people who actually sleep better and sleep more, get like 7, 8 hours of sleep. They're more productive. They make fewer mistakes than those people who sleep 4 or 5 hours but get into work super early because it does affect your brain, your concentration, and your focus. So if you get more sleep, you will definitely concentrate better and be more productive. They've done studies of teenage drivers in these cities where when the starting time of school was made earlier, they got into a lot more accidents. When they pushed back the starting time 30 or 45 minutes, the rate of accidents among these teenage drivers decreased. Why? Because they were getting extra sleep. So it's really important to get a lot of extra sleep. And lack of sleep has been linked to a whole bunch of illnesses, including various types of cancer. So you will be healthier if you do sleep more. There's a lot of health benefits. So don't cheat yourself out of sleep. And the other thing is, you can't just not sleep well for 5 days and then make it up on the weekend. It has to be done on a daily basis. Your body really needs to recover and regenerate. It has to be done every single day. Otherwise, you open yourself up to a whole bunch of various diseases if you don't get enough sleep in the morning.
Absolutely. Well, folks, make sure that you get the book, How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Whole by Victor Dedaj. Thank you so much, Victor, for allowing me to have you on and share this amazing book that you have put together and introduce you to the world.
Thank you very much, Becca. It's been a real pleasure being on here today.
My pleasure is mine, my friend. Pleasure is mine.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.